Have you ever wondered how Brazil, a country known for its vibrant culture and biodiversity, came into existence? Our journey begins in the year 1500 when the Portuguese explorer Pedro Álvares Cabral, guided by the winds of destiny, first set eyes on this unknown land. This vast expanse of green, teeming with life and echoing with the songs of unseen creatures, was home to a myriad of indigenous tribes, each with their unique culture and way of life. They were the true masters of this land, long before the sails of the Portuguese caravels broke the horizon. However, the arrival of Cabral marked a turning point. Intrigued by this new world and driven by the thirst for wealth and power, the Portuguese began to establish their foothold. They set up colonies, forging alliances with some tribes while clashing with others. The land, so full of life and wonder, also proved to be a treasure trove of resources. One such resource was Brazilwood. Its rich red timber was highly valued in the Old World for dye and construction, and it was this tree that gave Brazil its name. As the Portuguese began to harvest this wealth, they changed the face of this untamed land forever. Yet, it wasn't just the land that bore the brunt of this exploitation. The indigenous tribes, once free to roam their ancestral lands, found themselves displaced, their way of life disrupted. The Portuguese, in their quest for wealth, left a trail of destruction that continues to echo in the annals of history. Thus began the complex and tumultuous history of Brazil, a land rich in resources but marred by exploitation. But how did Brazil transition from a colony to a sovereign nation? It's a fascinating story with a cast of characters and events that would rival any epic tale. Our journey begins in the early 19th century with Brazil under Portuguese rule. However, the winds of change were blowing. Inspired by the American and French revolutions, a wave of nationalism was sweeping across South America. Enter Dom Pedro I, the charismatic and determined Prince Regent of Brazil. Despite being the son of the Portuguese king, Dom Pedro, I had a deep affection for Brazil and its people. He was in many ways the embodiment of this rising Brazilian nationalism. When his father, King John VI, returned to Portugal in 1821, Dom Pedro was chosen to stay in Brazil, a decision that would forever alter the course of the nation's history. The Portuguese court demanded his return, but Pedro defied them, uttering the now famous words, "I am staying." This moment, known as the Dia do Fico, or I Am Staying Day, marked a turning point in Brazil's struggle for independence. The following year, on the 7th of September, 1822, Dom Pedro I declared Brazil's independence from Portugal. On the banks of the Ipiranga River, he drew his sword and cried out, "Independence or death." This momentous event is known as the Cry of Ipiranga. But declaring independence was one thing, maintaining it was another. Portugal wasn't ready to let go of its valuable colony without a fight. However, thanks to the leadership of Dom Pedro I and the resolve of the Brazilian people, the country managed to resist Portuguese attempts to reclaim it. On the 1st of December 1822, Dom Pedro was crowned Emperor of Brazil, marking the official beginning of the country's independence. With independence, Brazil stepped into a new era, but the journey to becoming a fully democratic nation was fraught with challenges. But that's a story for another scene. For now, let's revel in the triumph of a nation that dared to dream of self-rule and against all odds made that dream a reality. So, when did Brazil become a republic and what were the implications? Following its struggle for independence, Brazil entered a new era in its history. The year was 1889 and the monarchy was overthrown in a military coup, leading to the establishment of the first Brazilian Republic. This period was marked by significant change and modernization. With the Republic came a new constitution, which introduced a federal system of government mirroring the United States. For the first time, Brazil was no longer a monarchy but a republic, with a president at the helm. Yet, the transition wasn't smooth. The fledgling republic was fraught with political instability, with frequent changes in government and the constitution. Despite these challenges, the republic managed to bring about some significant social and economic changes. One of the most significant changes was the abolition of slavery in 1888, a year before the establishment of the republic. Brazil was the last country in the Americas to abolish this abhorrent practice, marking a critical point in its social transformation. Economically, the Republic era was marked by the growth of coffee plantations. Brazil's temperate climate and vast land made it ideal for coffee cultivation. The coffee industry became the backbone of the Brazilian economy, contributing significantly to the country's modernization efforts. By the early 20th century, Brazil was the world's largest coffee producer. The wealth generated from this industry led to the development of cities and infrastructure, transforming Brazil into a modern nation. However, the dependence on coffee also made the economy vulnerable. When the global coffee market crashed in the 1930s, Brazil was hit hard, leading to a period of economic hardship. Simultaneously, the Republic era saw the rise of a burgeoning middle class. With improved education and job opportunities, a new social order was emerging, challenging the traditional elites and shaping the Brazil we know today. The Republic brought significant changes, but it wasn't without its share of turmoil. Through it all, Brazil demonstrated resilience and adaptability, navigating the challenges of the Republic era to emerge as a modern, dynamic nation. Now, what about modern Brazil? How did it evolve to become the Brazil we know today? Our journey takes us to the mid-20th century, a time of seismic shift in Brazil's political landscape. A military coup in 1964 ushered in a period of authoritarian rule that lasted for over 2 decades. This era, marked by suppression of political dissent and human rights abuses, stands as a stark contrast to Brazil's democratic aspirations. Yet, it's within this crucible of struggle that the indomitable spirit of the Brazilian people shone through. Popular movements gradually emerged, demanding a return to democratic governance. By 1985, the military regime had ceded to these demands, marking a significant victory for the Brazilian people. The transition back to democracy was not without its challenges. Brazil grappled with economic instability and social inequality, issues that persist to this day. However, despite these hurdles, the nation has made strides in addressing these challenges, demonstrating resilience and a commitment to progress. But let's not forget Brazil's vibrant cultural achievements. The nation has become a global powerhouse in sports, particularly football, producing some of the world's most iconic athletes. Brazil's music, marked by the lively rhythms of samba and bossa nova, has captivated audiences worldwide. And let's not forget the country's efforts in environmental conservation, particularly in preserving the Amazon rainforest, a vital part of our planet's ecosystem. The story of contemporary Brazil is one of contrasts, of trials and triumphs, of tumult and transformation. It's a testament to the resilience of the Brazilian people, their vibrant culture, and their enduring spirit. Indeed, Brazil's history is a fascinating journey of resilience and transformation, shaping a nation that continues to captivate the world with its spirit and vibrancy.